Hello there, fellas. This is Udaldor, and today we are going to take a look at some early game ore processing in Minecraft, modded, of course. So I've taken out about 4 different options that you would start off with for some really early game ore processing, right? So ore processing basically meaning you can take your ore and get more than 1 ingot from each ore. Okay, so let's get started. The very basic one that is probably the easiest one to start off with is applied energistics. And applied energistics gives you a really nice method of ore processing using the grindstone. Now the grindstone is crafted like so, right, with some quartz. You could use another quartz as well if you have that. And then you also need a wooden crank crafted just with some sticks, right? So you take this, put it down into the world, put the wooden crank on top, and inside this one you can put pretty much any ore, right? So let's say, actually let's do 1 iron and 1 gold. And you have 3 slots here. You could, you know, put a stack of 3 stacks of ore inside here or whatever. Then when you right click on this thing, it's gonna spin. Once you've done that, one of the ores, I think middle first, left and then right, will get put into here. This slot, now you can't take it out anymore. You can't take it out at all. Now if you just hold right click, this is going to spin, and what happens is after some time, it does take some time, your ore will convert into 2 dust. So from our 1 gold ore, we just get 2 gold dust. Really awesome. Now same for iron, copper, silver, lead, whatever. And then you go ahead and simply smelt the dust in any type of furnace, and you will get 1 ingot per dust instead of 1 ingot per ore. So that basically gives you a whole bunch more, double your ore. Now this is a process that takes quite some time, and that's why I'm going to show you the Tinker's Construct method. Now this method is a little bit more time consuming to get started with. You need to build a smeltery, and for this you're going to need some grout. Grout is simply made with sand, clay and gravel. That'll get you 2 grout. You could also do it with blocks to get 8, but you don't really win anything in doing that. So when you have the grout, go ahead and smelt the grout in a furnace to get some seared bricks. With the seared bricks you can build a whole bunch of different materials, well, blocks, construction blocks. First of all, to build a smeltery you're going to need at least 9 seared bricks. Go ahead and build a 3x3 area with them, right? Then go ahead and grab some more seared bricks or seared glass or seared windows. Now you have a whole bunch of seared stuff here, but you could go with the glass or windows or even some more bricks. I like doing the windows. Simply place them like this, leave the corners out. You basically have to build it like this. Now you can make your smeltery 1 high. I do recommend making it 2 high though if you're going to use it for ore processing, for some extra space, and I'll show you what I mean with space in just a minute. So once you've got this right here, you're going to need to get yourself a smeltery controller. Now all recipes you can find in NEI if you didn't know that already. Place the smeltery controller on the first level. This is the first level. This is not the first level, but the first level above the ground construction, right? Then you're also going to need to get yourself a seared tank. Whoops. Now this tank, also place that on the first level. You don't have to do that, but I recommend you doing this for easy lava supply. Then you're also going to need a smeltery drain. Now the smeltery drain I recommend placing on the second level, as that will be easier. It's just for convenience pretty much. Now once you've got these 3 blocks, the seared tank, the controller and the drain, you can fill the rest of the blocks in with seared glass or bricks or windows. Now if we open up the controller right now, you'll see we have 9 slots inside here. If I put this, now we have another layer, complete layer. Now we've got 9 more slots. So you can pretty much build however many layers you want to, and for every layer you'll get 3 by 3 more space inside here. Cool. Now there's are 2 things more you're going to need, which is a faucet and a casting basin. Now if you go ahead and put one of these faucets on the drain and then put a basin below the faucet, then you've got a complete smeltery ready to work. But you do need a heat source for this, and the heat source used for the Tinker's Construct smelteries is lava. Now for lava, simply go ahead and put lava inside the seared tank. You could do that with a fluid duct, you could do it with pipes, or you could just, put a tank on top of put a portable tank on top of this tank, but I have another block on the way, so I'm gonna just go ahead and put it right there and switch this to output mode, which will fill this tank up. It can hold 4 buckets, and now once you've got lava inside here, you're pretty much ready to roll. Sorry, that was my phone. I'm gonna have to turn that off. Go ahead and put some ores inside your smeltery, for example iron. Now this will also double your ores, right? So keep in mind that while doubling your ores, you will basically get 2 ingots in the end from every ore. So now this is starting to heat up, and this will actually drain some lava. If we take a look here, if you look up at Wayla, we should actually maybe, yeah, we're gonna have to wait a little while, but if you note the number right there now, 1850 millibuckets. Once this has completed the smelting process, you will see inside here, inside this tank looking thing, you get molten iron. Now if you put gold in here, you'll get molten gold, of course. But once you've got this, what you can do, as you can see, we have 18 molten iron inside here now. If you right click on your faucet, that'll drain and fill up the basin. Now the basin can hold 9 buckets or ingots worth of liquid, so you'll see it stops at 9 here, and then this will eventually cool off and give you an iron block, which you then can turn into iron ingots. So from 9 iron I get 2 iron blocks. Very cool. Sometimes you have to right click more than once. That's a bug in Tinker's Construct. Now you can see also that the lava has drained, so it does consume lava. It doesn't just need it, because, since lava does cool off, you're going to need to supply more and more lava. So there we go. Now, what if you don't want... what if you have like 8 buckets left or something? Well, then you can go ahead and craft yourself a casting table. Now, on this table, you can go ahead and get yourself an ingot cast, and that ingot cast is made by taking some gold or aluminum. Well, actually, either gold or aluminum brass, which is another metal that you can create with Tinker's Construct. I won't show you that though. Then you can go ahead and on this table get yourself an ingot, any type of ingot, like an iron ingot there, put it on the table, and if we can wait, it's gonna have to smelt. Basically what you'll do is you'll take 1 ingot worth of gold or aluminum brass, and once this is melted, go ahead and right click. It's going to fill this up and form a cast around the ingot, and this will give you an ingot cast. Now go ahead and put this cast on the table. Actually it took 2, and now if you have 1 ingot worth of liquid in here, you can go ahead and pour that 1 ingot into your casting table, into your cast here, and then right click to get yourself 1 ingot. So we'll come back to this in just a minute now. I was also going to show you the redstone clock. You can go ahead and pulse this faucet with a redstone signal. For example, a lever would do. So I'll show you that later. Cool. The next option you've got for early game processing is thermal expansion. Now, thermal expansion allows you to craft a pulverizer and a redstone furnace. I don't need the redstone furnace for the ore processing itself. You need the pulverizer. There is another method in thermal expansion using the induction smelter, which is a little more complicated and a little more, later in your gameplay. Therefore, I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to show you the early stage of thermal expansion. So go ahead and craft yourself a pulverizer. And if you want to, a furnace. Go ahead and set up some redstone flux power generation. If you don't know how to do that, then I would recommend checking out Vagrim's video on early game redstone flux production. He's got some really nice options to show you for some redstone flux creation. Now go ahead and take your machines, and when you put the pulverizer down, this is going to fill up with power. Same for the furnace, which you again don't need. Now when you go ahead and put one of your ores inside the pulverizer, it's going to pretty quickly smelt up into dust. Now the dust got put into here since I have a furnace, but if we go ahead and remove the furnace for now, redstone furnace, let's see. Right, so let's do that again. If I put an ore into here, that ore will get smelted, well pulverized, into 2 dust. Now, if you click recipes here, you'll see that gold ore, for example, only produces 2 dust. But if we check iron ore, for example, that has a 10% chance of giving you some ferrous dust. So this is a very, it's a pretty good setup that you can use. It does get you some extra metals, so if I would go ahead and produce, well, pulverize some of this iron, then eventually I would get some ferrous, and that would give me some of that as well. So that's really cool. Now I'm gonna take a walk over here and show you this. We have the smeltery right here, and go ahead and apply a redstone signal. It's going to drain 1 bucket into your casting table. Go ahead and right click here. Just once, I right click twice, and you'll get 1 ingot. So they're really cool. Basin produces a block, casting table produces an ingot. Right, so that's the pulverizer for you. And of course the redstone furnace, what it does is it pretty much just smelts your dust. So you could just take the dust out of the pulverizer, put it into a vanilla furnace if you wanted to. But the redstone furnace is nice for some, better automation. Now lastly, I want to talk about industrial craft, and there are 3 stages of ore processing in industrial craft at the moment. Oh right, yeah, never mind. You've got the very basic stage where you just put some ore into your macerator. You're gonna need to make a macerator for this, and you'll get 2 crushed gold ore. And a macerator, by the way, you can see the recipe for that in Not Enough Items, and there are some nice tutorials already on how to generate power in industrial craft. Then go ahead and take your crushed gold ore and simply smelt it to get an ingot. So this is just like thermal expansion without the chance of getting extra metals. And it's a little faster as well if you've got the upgrades, which you can't craft for thermal expansion. Right, really cool. Now the next step that you can do is macerating your gold ore, and without smelting your crushed gold ore, put it in an ore washing plant. This guy requires some water. Put that crushed gold ore into here, and that's going to eventually get you some purified crushed gold ore. So from our 2 crushed gold ore, we got 2 purified crushed gold ore, 4 tiny piles of dust, and some stone dust. Now, with these tiny piles, you can go ahead and for every 9 you get another gold dust. So that's a little extra for every, what would be, for every 9, that depends on how many you get. Yeah, for every 18 ore you'd get 1 extra. No, for every 9 you get 1 extra, yeah. And then you get your purified crushed ore, which you can just go ahead and smelt to get some gold. The stone dust is just a byproduct. You can't really do anything useful with it at all. So now you've got 2 options. Smelt the purified crushed gold ore, or go ahead and put it in a thermal centrifuge. Now this is a really late game machine, and this has already finished processing what I put in here before, but if you do go ahead and put some purified crushed gold ore into here, it's going to start heating up. That's an NEI bug right there. So this starts to heat up right now, and once this has heated up completely, it's going to process one of these into 1 gold dust, and it's also going to give you a tiny pile of silver dust. So for gold, you'd get a tiny pile of silver dust. For iron, you'd get, for example, some stone dust, and you'd get a tiny pile of gold dust. So depending on what material you're centrifuging, you'll get different tiny piles. So this gives you some more as well. This is an even later game machine, of course, since the thermal centrifuge is, you know, quite expensive to make. You need some mining lasers, you need a whole bunch of stuff, and most of this stuff is not early game. But if you do start with industrial craft, you've got some nice things to do later game. You know, you could pretty easily, once you've used this for a while, upgrade and get the washing plant, and then you could upgrade and get the thermal centrifuge. So that's you know, the most common early game ways to process your ores. Now there are some other mods out there that allow you to process your ores. For example, Thaumcraft has a feature for that. Rotary Craft has one. The Rotary Craft isn't really a common mod. In Feed the Beast Monster, for example, you don't have Rotary Craft, as far as I know. But you do have Rotary Craft, but that's not really early game either. So these are the best, in my opinion, early game ways of processing your ores. So thanks everyone for watching. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials and let's plays. Follow me on Twitter for updates. This is Udaldor, and I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.